That's Chandler Moore and Cody Carnes. I love it. I love it. He won't fail us now. That song been in my heart all week because I know that everyone under the sound of our voice that we have been going through some things, but guess what? As long as we trust in the Lord with all our heart, all our mind, all our soul, that God will bring us out. And I have two beautiful hearts and spirits on today. Mr. Come on, Chad Landry and Mrs. Come on, Jennifer Landry. I love it. And you know what I love about them is all the things that they do, but I like speaking to inspire through experience. Because if you haven't been through it, you don't know how to go, you don't know how to deal with it. So I just want to give God all the praise, all the glory, all the honor for being God all by himself. We asking God to really touch everyone that's under the sound of our voice. We want you to really share. We want you to listen. We want you to be inspired because I know that you're going through some things. If you're not going through some things, there's some people that you know going through some things. And tonight we pray that something will be said that will give you comfort. Something that will be said that when you felt like giving up, that God still and will come through. Rain came, wind blew, but guess what? I'm going to count on him. Amen. So we want to give God all the praise, all the glory, all the honor for tonight. I want to introduce to some and present to others Mr. Chad Landry and Mrs. Jennifer Landry. I turn it over to you guys. God, grace the audience with your beautiful spirit. In Jesus' name.
Thank you so very much.
Good evening, everybody. How y'all doing this evening? We're very honored to be here on Miss Minister Sarah Evans' podcast. We appreciate the offer. We thank you so much. Looking forward to doing the work that we're going to be doing together in the near future. And we're just grateful for this opportunity.
It's very important at this time that everybody's going through something. And one of the things that inspire me about y'all shirts and inspire me about speaking to, you understand, speaking to inspire through experience is that you have to have gone through something. And one of the things about it is that there's no shucking and jiving when it comes to you guys, okay? That this started with a vision. This started behind real trouble and everything else. But God is really, I see even you guys are such embraced with so much that I even see where you have some things where you not only help them emotionally, mentally, but also physically. Y'all touching everything, the whole mind, body, and soul. And I love that. So let's start talking about the children because I notice you guys go to juvenile detention homes, okay? Let's talk about that experience there because that's something that a lot of churches have put that banner down, but I see you guys are really doing it. Let's start on that because y'all doing a lot. Let's talk about the experience of the juvenile detention, okay?
First, I want to say, Miss Sarah, in life, I know if you're alive, you done been through something. Either you're coming out of a storm, you in a storm, or you're gonna be entering into the storm. And that's where what the words say. The trying of our faith work with patience. You know what I'm saying? And so forth and so on. And I want to say when it comes to the juvenile detention centers and the issues we're having with the system. We're chapter organizers of Family and Friends of Louisiana's Incarcerated Children, an organization that has been around since for about 20 years now. And in 2003, FLIC, which is the acronym for the organization, was responsible for closing Tallulah down, which is one of the most dangerous youth prison facilities in the world, and also by getting Act 1225 passed. And what Act 1225 is, I'm gonna read a little bit so I don't miss nothing. It says for decades, our youth justice system has been designed like a maze with too few paths that lead to real support and too many paths leading to incarceration. By redesigning the maze and providing our youth with an easily accessible support system of mentors, counselors, mental and behavioral support, educational opportunities, and job opportunities, we can limit the entry points to incarceration and maximize access to the services and opportunities youth need to thrive and grow and give back to the communities. And see, and the thing about it is, since Act 1225 passed in 2003, um, we just getting a little bit here and a little bit there. And so our main goal as FLIC, which is we work with two organizations, is to get Act 1225 fully implemented, you
And
know,
funded.
and funded. Because what's happening is the state gets $150,000 for each kid that's incarcerated, and only 15,000 for each youth that they're educating in the school systems. So the goal of Act 1225 was to say, hey, take some of that 150, put it toward the beginning on the front end, and let's get more programs implemented for these youth so they can have a better chance at success. And we also work at stopping and preventing the school to prison pipeline. And so what happened was my wife and I, we seen a need working with FLIC, as we're advocating for these kids that are going through some things. And we say, one of the things with Act 1225 is mentorship. And so we came up with the idea for speaking to inspire through experience. And my wife created the Bridging the Gap mentorship program. And that way, what happens is we want to try to catch the kids and work with them and try to give them their best chance for success. And then I'll let my wife discuss more about the program because she spent many hours, many weeks, many days, and months researching scientific approaches, researching proven um, things that we could implement in our program to try to get the kids so they can have their best chance for success.
So, I know you mentioned earlier about us also going to the juvenile centers. We go to the juvenile centers, and that's something that Flick started every holiday. They get each chapter to get a count of how many kids are in the system, and we create a care package. So our first one was, I think out here was Christmas. We did Christmas. We got volunteers. We gave them bags with toiletries. They had socks, candy, the necessities, but we gave them a bigger quantity than what they're used to inside the juvenile facilities. And we want them to know that somebody cares. Someone on the outside cares for them and they're not forgotten. So we do that. We have done it every holiday. We did it for Christmas. I think we did it for Valentine's Day, Easter, and we'll continue to do it on other holidays. Now with the program, the Bridging the Gap program, it was something that I created, and initially it was not supposed to be a mentorship program. It was actually supposed to be a communication workshop, a workshop between parents and children to build that communication. Um, and a lot of people know my story, some don't know my story. In 2016, my daughter was murdered. She was killed. She was 17 years old. and she was killed in a domestic situation. So she was being abused, and we didn't find well, I didn't find out she was being abused till after she was already gone. So and I think that if we would have had a better relationship and better communication, she could have came and told me what was going on. And I'm also a domestic violence survivor. I went through it from the age of 17 till I was 22. So that's why that communication piece is so important to me, because I want to teach parents and children, or guardians and youth, how to build that connection. Communicate effectively, build trust between the two, so that the child can feel comfortable at any point going to whoever their guardian is and telling them what they're going through. They may be experiencing depression. And if you're experiencing depression, I can go to my mom or my dad or whoever and say, I'm feeling depressed. So maybe we can get some help rather than me feeling overwhelmed and possibly committing suicide. So that's how it initially started for me. And as the work grew with Flick, that's when we really started to see that need for the mentorship program. So we do 12-week cycles, so it's every 12 weeks. We focus on children that are at risk and underserved. Our one of our main goals is to work with youth that are incarcerated, are facing incarceration, or coming out of incarceration. So that is our main goal. And like I said, it's a 12-week program, and we teach them everything from responsibilities, career exploration. We have the workshop. We do community building. We get them working in the community, team building, and we also teach them about mental health and drug awareness, because the drug epidemic is huge. So that is also something that we teach.
Mhm. I want to say this is some things that you guys were saying, and I want to pull on that because I want to hear from you. I used to work at the juvenile detention, okay, years ago, and I remember one of the things that, and you're right on point. One of the things that the children struggled with, okay, was the simple fact that the communication between them and their parents, okay, a lot of there wasn't any, and that's why it's so important to not only just want to help the child, but I know you guys are doing some family things, because if the family is not empowered, you understand, if the family, you got to sit the child and the parent down, you understand, to really, and get them to really express whatever is going on. So it's very important, because we could have a program after a program. If there's no peace or effective communication in the home, then we're not doing anything. So this is one of the things, everyone under the sound of our voice, is that you guys have to participate in all these programs that they are giving. It's important to be able to understand, because what you said, drugs affect children or people in a certain way. Domestic violence affect their emotions and everything. So you got to deal with those issues. You got to acknowledge it and be aware of it, and you got to get in there and deal with it. One of the things I want everyone to know under the sound of our voice is that you guys are working with other people. You're bringing other components, other things in, and it's going to take a village. It's going to take a team to be able to deal with these issues, because we all specialize in a certain thing. So it's going to take. Tell me about, you guys are having a family, some type of family thing coming up. I thought I had wrote it down. As the Parent Support Cafe. That's right. Tell me about that. Tell me about that. It's very important, people, that not you don't want to just send the child to get the whole family needs to be able to embrace that. So
Evolve the children. So I think what you're talking about on that one is we also work with another. We work with the Extra Mile with another program called My Community Cares. And at My Community Cares, we do a family support group. Chad and I do it separate. He work with the men and I work with the women. And we get them to come in and they sit down and they talk with us and you know, we try to help them to meet a need if they have a need, you know. So we my I'm sorry, Extra Mile has many resources in Lafayette and surrounding areas. So they're able to plug them into, you know, the right areas.
So the next one is Tuesday, July 25th at 5 to 6:30 p.m. at the Extra Mile building. They're gonna have child care and food will be provided. We also we go over the five protective factors. We keep talking about like parental resilience, concrete supports in time of need, and things of that nature. You know, it's more like just a support group. It's laid back. It's informal. We just sit back and talk and stuff like that. And after the meetings, you know, like Jennifer said, if they have a need, we connect them to the Extra Mile, and because they have a lot of resources as well, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I want to really put out there is that you guys are collaborating with others. We got to deal with every issue. Nothing goes unturned. You understand? We got to face it. We got to deal with how the children communicates with the parents. We got to be able to even they're about to go to school. Okay, they're about to go to school. There's going to be some more issues, but you guys definitely have exposed yourselves to many children. Tell me about that. Let's see, what is it? Speaking to inspire through what is the last word? Experience. I love it. Tell me about it. I saw some of y'all classes. Tell me about how that. Give me some examples of what you exposed the kids to.
So how like what Jennifer was explaining how everything got started, you know, I've been working on motivational speaking for like 10 years now. You know, listening to different motivational speakers and things of that nature. So my thing was I want to speak to the kids, and Jennifer was like, "Well, I want to do a workshop that bridges the communication gap between kids and their guardians, and also bridge the gap between kids and their potential." And was like, well, how are we going to make both of these work? And my wife, being the person she is, and God working in her life like He does, 1 or 2 days later, she's like, well, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start a program. I'm like, okay, cool. You know, and that's why it's good to be in tune with your spirit, you know, and paying attention to what God is giving you. You know, like, you know, the word says, without a vision, people perish, you know, and also says, write the vision to make it plain. So when God gives us visions, she gets on it right away. You know, I'm more of a play it safe. Let's weigh the options. And she's like, no, God gave it to me. Let's do it. Because if God, you know, God gives you the vision, He's going to provide the provision. He's going to provide everything you need to make it happen. And that's where faith comes in. And so to answer your question, with the speaking part, speaking to inspire through experience, we want to take our experience, my experience being drug abuse, mental health, alcoholism, homelessness, prison, I've been abused, all these different things that I've been through and overcame and got delivered from, to use that experience to try to help other people not to have to go through a lot of the things I've been through, or to say, hey, if you've been through this, you could come out on the other side, or to say, if you're going through this, you could come out on the other side. There is help, and this is what I did, and what helped me, and this is what you could do. And when it comes to the kids, I want to speak a life into their spirit. Some of these kids don't have that experience. Some of the parents aren't aware of the importance of words and speech and paying attention to what our kids are listening to, what our kids are being subjected to. So, as a inspirational, motivational speaker, I feel that one of my callings is to speak life into their spirits and to say, "Hey, let me help you tap into your fullest potential. Hey, you're created on purpose and for a purpose. Hey, whatever you've been through does not define you. You could come out on the other side of that. You are not a victim. You are an overcomer. You are a victor. You know, you're created for greatness." And then we talk about vision boards. We talk about affirmations. And that's also biblical. You know, the word says we're transformed by the renewing of our mind. And I'm quoting the word because I know you're a minister. And I know this is the proper platform for that. And I know I could do that in this space. And and so by being transformed by the renewing of our mind, I feel it's important to watch the information that we're taking in. You know, if we have years like myself of negative programming, negative influence, uh, you know, I could actively work on transforming my thinking. And my one of my goals is to teach other people how to do that. You know, and whether it be the word, whether it be affirmations, whether it be a vision board, whether it be other tools, whatever a person's comfortable using, you know, and to operate in their fullest potential.
That is so true. One of the things that I wanted to there's some other things that we're going to get to, but I want to talk about, I'm going actually this Saturday. We go to Elaine Hunt's on the other side of Baton Rouge. I go there once a month, and we go minister and whatever. And one of the things that I see is that there's some OGs that's there, been a long time, but the majority of them are young people. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of young people. And this is so important that you guys are actually trying to jumpstart dealing with that. You understand, on this side before they actually get in there, because there's a lot of things in there that they wouldn't want to really face. What is it that you can say? There may be someone that's just seems like, I'm gonna say this. When I was working in the juvenile detention, and I actually experienced this with my son, is that when there's a single parent, a lot of times the money is hard. Okay, the money is real hard, and a lot of those young boys that used to talk to me when I was working at the juvenile, it was that they were trying to help the mothers. Okay, they were trying to help, even if it was just raising themselves. One of the things, what can you say to a young man that it just seems like, because there's a lot of pressure, there's pressure from social media, there's pressure from when they go into school where they can't, you don't have the tennis, you don't have this, you don't have that. What can you say to someone, you understand, that's really, they're kind of stuck because they don't know if they should go to the other side and do criminal activity, or just wait and try to just deal with the struggle. Because those young people deal a lot with money. They deal a lot with, you understand, because there's so much social media gives them this idea that they gotta have money. You know what I'm saying? What is it that you can trust? Because they're about to go to school in a couple of weeks. You understand? And I know that there's some young men and young women that are dealing with that choice. Look, am I gonna go steal my clothes? Am I gonna sell something? Talk to them. Talk to them. What can you say concerning your experience and everything? What can you say to them right now?
First of all, you mentioned St. Gabriel. You mentioned Hunt's Correctional Facility. I went in that facility at the age of 18. and I got out when I was 21. That was my first experience with adult prison. So I know it's no joke being in that type of environment. It's a cutthroat environment. You know, there's nobody there to protect you. You can't call the cops. You can't call my buddies. You can't call mom or dad. You got to fend for yourself in that environment. And when it comes to financial stresses and pressures, you know, I would say there's always another way. You know, there's always another way. We just talked to a guy who's part of our team, and he was saying his 12-year-old son started a thing where uh, he goes put trash cans to the road for people, and they paying $5 every 2 weeks. And he started with just doing that with his dad, and now he got a whole client list, you know, maybe 20, 30 customers. So at
Once a
12,
week. He makes $500 a week.
so, and another thing is, um, there's always other options. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be real transparent. The jails are getting built, and they plan on filling them. They don't mind putting our kids in jail before they give them programs. They don't mind that because it's a big business. Like I mentioned before, the state gets $150,000 for each kid that's incarcerated, compared to 15,000 for the education. So I would recommend, and I would beg and plead and implore our kids: don't be another statistic. Don't fall victim to the prison system. The school to prison pipeline is real. It starts off in the school system with suspensions, expulsions, and it being molded for prison. And I would say be patient. Find you a legal avenue to make some money. There's always ways, and you could do it. Push past those feelings, those temptations of wanting to get that quick money. You know, I know it's not easy sometimes because I've been there. But if you get caught, you're gonna pay the consequences. And once again, like I said, they building these. It's a big business, and they starting out young, molding our kids, training them here at La Rosen. You know, going through these metal detectors at 4 and 5 years old, taking off your shoes, all this type of stuff, and it's just real. Reach out to somebody. I would say to the kids, reach out to us. Reach out to somebody. If you go on Facebook and type in different things, you're gonna see there's all kind of programs out here in Lafayette. There's programs in other states, wherever you're from. Reach out to somebody, and somebody will help you.
And parents, that goes for you. Because we see when our kids are struggling. We see when they, you understand, what happens is that you cannot ignore what you're seeing. A lot of times we don't ignore it. I mean, we ignore it because it's not as bad. But if you see something, you got to deal with it. And a lot of things that I'm seeing is that there are a lot of young parents that has, you know what I'm saying, older children. They have kids young, and they're young. They're not mature. And the thing about it is, you gotta get help. There's all kind of programs. The programs that you guys do should be in some schools, okay? Because there are different kind of things that are offered in school. But the kind of programs that you have, they should be in schools. You understand? They should be in schools because those kids are dealing with that emotional stuff. With emotional stuff about the clothing. Emotional stuff, they might not have any food at home. Emotional stuff that daddy walked away. Those things, all of those things are there. You gotta deal with it. And you cannot act like it doesn't matter. It does matter. The emotions of that person, that young person, it does matter. I want to talk about some of the, let's talk about the detox. I saw that you guys, we talking about the physical side of that. Because you know what? If you're not, even if you're trying to do something, but if you're not healthy, that matters too. You understand? Because that's affecting your mental thinking. That's affecting emotions. Talk a little bit about that journey. That's something too. Mind, body, and soul. Mind, body, and soul.
Yes. Okay. Yes, ma'am. I actually am an herbalist. So I have a shelf back there. I wish you can see it, full of herbs. So I do a lot of herbal. I can make herbal supplements. I make a lot of teas and parasite cleanses. I make detoxes to cleanse the body, because a lot of people don't realize that sickness, the sickness in the body comes from the gut. Your gut is what holds all of the disease, it holds all of that. So detoxing is important because it cleans the gut. It works on the gut. And not only that, eating, certain things that you eat does also contribute to sickness. But and like right now, I make a parasite cleanse. It's a drop. It's a bitter herb, but it is meant to cleanse the body of parasites. And a lot of times we have parasites in the body and we have no idea. So if you're dealing with fatigue, craving sugar, just like brain fog and all that, you may have a parasite in your body. So I have it listed on Etsy. And for the last 3 or 4 days, my phone has been binging with orders, like back to back. They have been ordering that parasite cleanse. Yes, very good. So um, it helps because the herbs that's in it is something that parasites don't like. So it gets them out of your system. Now, as far as now the weight loss and all that, that's the health guru right there. He didn't lost like 40 pounds in 2 months or something.
So, no, go ahead. So, I'm doing keto along with Jennifer's detoxes, and I'm mixing that together with exercise, and that's my secret right there. And I was laughing because all of a sudden she started getting these orders out the blue from Etsy, and I've been speaking. One of my affirmations is I have multiple sources of increasing income coming in daily because the word said the Lord gives you the power to create wealth. You know what I'm saying? And it also says, Jesus came that we may have life and have it more abundantly. And I believe that abundant life is in all areas, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and financially. And so I try to walk in that, because I never had that revelation in the past. I believed I was a victim of circumstances. I had a negative self-image. I had a negative mindset. I had a low self-esteem. But now I have the awareness that that's not my reality, and words have power. We're ensnared by the words of our mouth, and life and death in the power of the tongue. So I try to be mindful of the words that I speak to myself about myself. And so anyway, I was a little off topic right there, but I just wanted to throw that out there.
No, it's really right on topic because the simple thing is that we have to try to be healthy. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of things, and all of that happens. People may not realize it, but all the emotional stuff, okay, all the emotional stuff that we deal with, guess what? And the way we eat, it does affect all of that, okay? So even at this age, what God is making me do to be aware, to consciously be aware of what I'm putting in my body, because a couple of years ago, I was on 15 different meds, okay? That's crazy. You understand? And I would always say that. And now I'm on 4. You understand what I'm saying? But I do the different things too. You understand? Not only that, all that food that we eat, that's a lot of information. The sugars, all of that, that's all inflamed, and it will affect us. Okay, and so I understand exactly what you're saying. So God is not, it's not just the mind, it's about the mind, body, and the soul. You understand what I'm saying? To be positive about your life. All that has to be changed. So it's very important, even on that base, even when you're doing different things, it's very important, because even a lot of children, they don't eat right. You understand? So it's very important that we really share everything that God has given you. He's given you that platform. The third Tuesday of every month is a success story, and you guys are a success story. Okay? That's why I wanted you a success story, because of the simple fact you are taking everything that God has given you both in your hands, and you produce for yourselves. Okay? You produce. So that matters. And that's to speak life, that's to speak encouragement to everyone under the sound of our voice. That you need to check, you need to do everything that has been said tonight. You need to deal with the family things. You need to deal with speaking to inspire, through experience. All these things matters, and God is going to expand you guys. You're going to expand, because that's how you're starting and you're pushing. They're going to take notice, and that's why it's an honor to have you guys. Actually, the guy that I go with, the minister the pastor now, Irvin Simpson, he's the initial one that gave me your name. He said, check with him. He's the one, you understand, check it with him concerning everything you guys are doing. So guess what? Your name is getting around. And that's what we wanted to make sure tonight, that everyone under the sound of our voice, that you got to reach out and get the help that's necessary. Whether it's through herbs, whether it's through, you understand, whether it's through the counseling, the family struggle. I also see you guys part of Building Lafayette with Marja Broussard. Are y'all with that? Tell me a little bit about your collaboration with that. That's what I love about it. You guys are involved in a lot of aspect of the community. It's all about the community. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, Miss Margie is also a Flick member as well. So what we try to do is we try to network with other community leaders, people that are doing things, and we try to be of service when we can. We wanna help them grow as we would wish that they would want to help the different things that we're doing grow. Because at the end of the day, it's all about the kids. It's all about community. It's all about raising awareness. It's all about transforming the community. And we're working with some other guys, Apostle Felton Hogan and Evangelist Donovan Davis from New Iberia. Uh, they do a lot of gun buybacks. They got some programs going on out there that they're working on some campaigns. We have meetings coming up with them to network with them. Matter of fact, they're both Flick members as well. Um,
You may see us on the side of the road picking up trash. We go and help clean like the graveyard. We did that, and
we did that with Josh
yeah,
Edmonds. You know, at the end of the day, you may see us on these different platforms on the news, but God gets the glory. The word said, "Let your light shine bright before men, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." It's not about us. It's about spreading the love of God. God is love. And so everything we do, we try to root it and ground it in love. At the end of the day, because he took us from so far. He didn't have to do that, man. He spared my life. He blessed me with my beautiful wife that was there for me when I was still struggling, when I was still messing up. She showed me unconditional love when I didn't know how to show unconditional love, and God's love through her helped to transform me into the person that I'm becoming. And I'm forever grateful for that.
as you guys go on, there's even a bigger platform. A bigger platform for you guys will add it to your platform. I've been looking for somebody for such a long time, and that's what your experience concerning losing your daughter. I have some friends. I was there with them when they lost their kids. One of them might be 9 years, the other one 10 years, and they still struggling. You understand what I'm saying? They're still struggling, and I understand. I tell them all the time. I understand. As far as I understand that it's hard for them. You understand? But somebody that can get to the other side of that, you understand what I'm saying? It's very difficult. It's very difficult. And I tell them, and I was close to those children. All our children were raised together, so it was like it was mine. And I tell them all the time, I said, but unless you've been through that, you don't know. Unless you've been through it. And I haven't been through that. And I tell, you know what I say, Jennifer? I say, God, I don't want to experience that. You understand what I'm saying? And so the thing about it is, Jennifer, there's a platform that's building up even more and more inside as you push, because mothers, fathers, they need to have somebody across the table that understands that. You understand what I'm saying? Unless you've been, I love it. I just love y'all's shirts. I love speaking to inspire through experience. Okay? The only way you're going to reach, and that's why y'all reaches everybody like that, is because you've been around the prison, you've been around homeless, you've been around, you understand what I'm saying? When you've experienced that, there's a lot of things. And the reason why when God sends me to brokenness conference and retreats is because my family was so broken. There was so many things that happened. You understand? But that thing there, God is going to raise y'all up. You understand? And that domestic violence is so important. That domestic violence is so important. I have a friend that lost their son. It's not just women that are lost through domestic violence, through murder. Men too. You understand what I'm saying? And so that's something that's a hard place. But I'm telling you, as God empowers you guys, as y'all keep on pushing, I'm telling you, that's what we're going to need. Because guess what? It's going to get worse, y'all. We're going to shake. We're about to shake. There's about a lot of things about to happen. And God is going to use you guys and use many like you. You understand what I'm saying? And we're going to have to do whatever we master in. And when I say master in, I'm talking about the things we experience. You understand? The things we experience makes you the master. Not a degree. And that's all good to have a degree. But the things you experience is the one. And not only you experience, but God brings you out. That's what makes you a master. So I just want to say thank you guys. Thank you guys. I would like anything that you guys would like to say. As I want to give y'all both a chance, but I want from Chad, I want drugs. Drug addiction has been a big thing in my life, as far as in my family. Addiction. Okay, mine was alcoholism. Okay, but I have a son. Okay. Drug addiction is a hard thing to deal with. You understand what I'm saying? Talk to the person that it just feels like there's so much pain. They can't give it up. They can't give it up. Just talk to them. Anything that God will give you to say to them. And then Jennifer, you after him. Amen? I turn it over to you, Mr. Landry.
I would just say there's a lot of help out there. There's detoxes, rehabilitation centers. There's a lot of help out there. I know that feeling of being hopeless. And I would say, don't wait to get help. Don't allow your mind to tell you, you can keep going with it, because the fentanyl is killing a lot of people right now. I have friends that I've known died. Two of my best friends overdosed on drugs. Another one was intoxicated and he shot himself in the chest. I'm a member of Narcotics Anonymous. I go to these meetings, and every 2 or 3 weeks you hear somebody else dying of a fentanyl or overdose. Um, it's just, you never know what a drug will be laced with. They're putting this fentanyl in vape dab pens and all of these different, and marijuana and hard drugs, and you just never know when you're gonna get a bad batch. I have a friend of mine whose son had an ecstasy pill. He says, "Well, I'm gonna take half today," and the reason we know, somebody told us that was with him, and he took the half. Nothing bad happened. He took the other half the next day. He overdosed. You never know if it's gonna be in a part of the batch of whatever drug you're getting, and not just that. Drugs ruin lives. In our minds, we hear stuff. Well, a little bit ain't gonna hurt. It's gonna be fun. Let's have fun. You never know if you have that gene, that addict or alcoholic gene, which it operates different. Where like a normal person could take a drink and they won't worry about it again before the next holiday or whatever. And where the person with that chemical gene or whatever it is, that the addict or alcoholic, they'll try that drug and their brain will start to obsess and compulse over the next one. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. Let me do it again. And 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 it's just not worth it. So many years wasted. Behind drugs, like myself. I tried it with a family member, and it was like, well, I'm not gonna let you get hooked. That's the craziest stuff you could tell somebody. I'm not gonna let you get hooked. And and who would have known? A couple years later, it had consumed me. It consumed my life. It consumed my thinking. It controlled me. I was completely powerless. And I thank God for giving me that I was able to let that go through the grace of God and get my power back. And now I'm operating in my divine purpose.
Sister Jennifer, what can you say to anybody concerning anything that you've experienced?
Um, am I off mute?
Mhm.
Okay, I am off mute. I can say I've never dealt with drugs, but I've dealt with being with him while on drugs, and oh my God, it was probably one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. One, because of the pain that I experienced, but two, watching him go through that pain and watching him suffer and wanting to stop doing the drugs, but couldn't help it. But I vowed, I just knew I wasn't going to leave him. I wasn't going to leave him because I knew his potential was bigger than his addiction. So that that part right there, if you love someone as much as it hurts, try, just try it. I would say that, just try it. Not saying everybody will deal with it the way I did, because I'm strong. I'm very strong. But now, as far as on a domestic situation, if you are dealing with any type of domestic issue, get out of that. Get out of that. I don't care how many times this person will tell you, I'm sorry, it will never happen again. Just get away from that, because dealing with that, like I said, I started dealing with that at 17. It lasted until I was like maybe 22 years old. And I didn't realize through that my children actually remembered those things. They remembered that. And they, there were times, and by me being young, and he would say, I'm not gonna do it no more. Come on back. And the moment I walked through that door, he was whipping my behind all through the house. So that is something that yeah, just walk away from that. Not everybody can walk out of it. As you can see, my daughter, she didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't. I lost my daughter, my one of my closest cousins. I lost her um, through a domestic situation, and it's sad to say I have a lot of friends that have actually dealt with that. It's common. It's very common, and it's very sad. So definitely get out of that situation immediately. Walk away from that. I have, and I think what it is, because I dealt with it at a young age, I attribute love to this abuse. So every time I got with someone, I looked for that abuse. And when they didn't give me that abuse, I felt they didn't love me. That was my thought process. They must not love me. And when they were good to me, I tried to force an argument to get a reaction. And I realize now that that was insane. That was absolutely insane. So definitely, yeah, definitely get out of that situation. Don't listen to the lies and excuses, because that's exactly what it is.
I want to say thank you guys so much for everything, for your heart, sharing your heart. Where can everyone get in contact with you? Can you give them that information, where they can get contact with you, and so they can look and see exactly the events that are coming up? I'll turn it over to you guys.
So we're on Facebook. If you type in Chad Landry, my uh, thing is a profile is a picture of me and Jennifer. Hers is Jennifer Landry. Her profile is a picture of me and her. We out here in Lafayette. We everywhere. Like I said, we're on social media. With any pretty much any community event that's going on, if we can make it, we'll be there. So, and if someone sees us, we can network. Matter of fact, after this, or maybe tomorrow, or the next day, I like to call you so we can set up a meeting, one on one, me, you, and Jennifer. Uh, but that's it. We around,
I love you guys. You guys really, really have blessed me and blessed the people that's under the sound of our voice. And I'm going to definitely, guys, whoever heard, we're going to share it, share it, share it. We moved towards YouTube. It's clearer. Nothing broke down. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm going to share this so others can see it. Because you know what? They're going to see it and they're going to know what you guys offer and they're going to reach out. So God bless you guys. I love you. Definitely going to be looking for that phone call, and we're gonna get together, because you know what, we got to do it. We're a team. Amen. God bless everybody, and I'll see you guys next week. God bless everyone from Worldview Night Watch. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.